Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Angel Key. We're going to do a short presentation on the book of Habakkuk. This is what Lion Farrakhan tried to deceive you about. He gets it all wrong. He doesn't even get realize Muhammad taught about it right. He's trying to tell you that the two figures in Habakkuk, one is Satan and one is God, and there's two conflicting against each other. He has no idea what it means. So we're going to give you a brief presentation of what it means. I'll go into a more detailed one at a later time. It's just a general, a short one to give you basic understanding. And another confirmation that if you don't understand Angel Key, then you won't understand what these books are saying. So let's proceed. Let's see here. Well, this is not working out too well. What's going on here? Okay. Turn it on. Okay, that was the case. Give a couple seconds here, brothers and sisters. There you go. Now we got it. Okay. Again, this is Habakkuk. A brief explanation of what it means relative to Angel Key. So let's proceed. The Angel Key. You must know the Angel Key, brothers and sisters. You must learn the Angel Key to break through this vision, Satan's vision, break through his world. Say, those who overcome what? The sealed Bible. So the Bible be unsealed at the end. You must be on board with that one. If you're still stuck under the seal of the sealed Bible, you're in trouble, brothers and sisters. Habakkuk. Okay, the two they're talking about there says one came from Teman and the Holy One from Mount Paran. So there's two there. See, God, there's a God and the Holy One. But see, he's trying to tell you that the God, right, is Satan. And the Holy One, right, is Master Prophet Muhammad, which he got all backwards. No, the Holy One is the high priest. He came from Mount Paran. We'll explain that later. And the God, that's Master Prophet Muhammad. So you have Suleiman and Master Prophet Muhammad. Those are the two he talk about Habakkuk. Elijah Muhammad never said such thing as there was two gods opposing each other. That's senile, lying, disemboweled Farrakhan's BS. Okay, so we're going to read some of the verses. There's only one page. It's one of the shortest books in the Bible. One page. I think it's about 19 verses. We're going to do about the first 10, 11 verses. We're going to keep it short. We're going into much detail at a later time. Okay. It says, glory covered the heavens. Now, I don't know if I've done this before with you, but it tells you those different ones, those wings, well, they have specific names. What they tell you what their names are. So I'm just going to give you two of them here. Right? Glory is the top one there. Praise is the bottom one on the red ones. Okay? Okay. So it says, glory covered the heavens. That's what it means because glory is on top. Cover the heavens. See? And one thing you have to be careful in here. See, they're talking about two gods, but now you go through the verse, you got to figure out which one they talked about. Because they tell you two at first, they don't tell you who's who. You have to figure it out as you go along. Because they start using pronouns. That's why you have to have the angel key to understand what he's talking about. And so the earth was full of his praises. Now this is not going in chronological order. It's talking about different snapshots in time on angel key, because we know angel key has a certain sequence. They're talking about certain snapshots in time, and that happens from time to time. Some books are like that, like the book of Jonah. It's not chronological order either. So earth was full of his praise. See, so that's at the point, right, where the four winds are blowing. Okay, so it gives you a timeline. At that point, right, that's when the four winds are blowing. Okay, so where earth is full of his praise. Then it said, and his brightness was as a light. He had horns coming out of his hand. He had horns coming out of his hand. Was the hiding of his power. Before him went pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. That means there'd be a plague just prior to his coming showing. There'd be a plague just before his pride. So it's saying the plague would be before him, right? And he said, now we know that the Lamb has 7 horns. You see? And so it says, in his hand, he had horns, right? And had horns come out of his hand. So we know in this case right here, this position, this is when this New Jerusalem, right? This is a snapshot, right? When those are horns. So that means a Shia, right? Those positions of the hand, those that know the angel understand what I'm talking about. Those would be his hands. And so he got the horns coming out of his hand. That means the one they're talking about here, right, is Master Prophet Muhammad. Horns come out. It says, and it says they were hidden, and they were the hiding of his power. That's a Shia. Those ones he going to war with. Michael's angels going to war with the dragon's angels. They was hidden. There was a hiding of his power. See? Because there is ground force. It says Michael's angels went to war with the dragon's angels. So it says there was a hiding. See, that's the end. That's the Shia. Those are 2 horns coming out of his hands. See? Listen to Lion Farrakhan. Whoa. See? Let me finish here. And it says, and before him went pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. Now those understand the angel realize the feet there are fire. They're flames of fire. Those red ones right there, that position, they're fire. That's at the feet. See, that's the position they're talking about the time of deliverance. We're going home. That's a snapshot they're talking about here. And he stood and he measured the earth and beheld and drove asunder the nations. What he's talking about right here. See Suleiman there? Right? He's standing above the earth. Right? So he's measuring the earth, but he's got the nations split asunder, all fighting with each other. Those nations, that's what it's talking about, brothers and sisters. That's a snapshot right there. As a desolation, abomination of desolation. Not that be as they're talking about. And the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. The everlasting mountain. We know the mountains also represents the 4 winds. See? So they were scattered. What do you mean they scattered? That's when the 4 winds blow. That's when the 4 winds blow. That's what he's talking about. See? Mountains scattered. And the everlasting mountains were scattered. See? That's what we're talking about. And the perpetual, see, they're called mountains when the African nation's up there. But when the original nation's up there, they're called hills. Those are the demons. And those are the chaff and the wheat. And the perpetual hills did bow. So those bowed. See? This is the resurrection. They bowed. That's what it's talking about. See, perpetual hills, perpetual mountain, in other words, right? Perpetual, same level. It's just sometimes they're at the top, sometimes the African nations are at the top. So those bowed. but the mountains were scattered. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thy anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? See, that's death and Hades, Oriental nations and the Asian nations. See, that's a question. See, is he going to be wrathful against them? He's going to war with them? See, we ain't there yet. That's what he's talking about. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thy anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That's what it's talking about. There's no snapshot there. That's a question, but we ain't got there yet. And thou didst ride horses and thy chariot on salvation. Now he's talking about Suleiman there. See, he's riding a horse. Nation of Islam, horse, the black horse. Okay? But also, Master Prophet Muhammad's riding his horse too. See? Those are riding horses. See? Thy bow was made quiet and naked according to the oath of the tribe, even the word. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. See? That's talking about the upcoming flood. Upcoming flood again, right? Was talked about. Was he displeased with the rivers and the sea? See, was he going to war with them? But now it's talking about the flood, right? That the rivers, right, is going to flood the earth. That's the flood, right? Along with the sea, of course. And thou didst march through the land, indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Thou went forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation of thine anointed. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. That's what you really need to think about right there. Because he's talking about, he discovered discovering the foundation unto the neck. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked. That's talking about Gog and Magog, by discovering the foundation unto the neck. That means the destruction of the foundation of this false vision. Abomination of desolation. See? So that will wound them mortally to be destroyed by the enemies. That'll be a serious wound when he takes down false Israel. That's the foundation of this false vision. So he's talking about right there. It's talking about Master Prophet Muhammad in this case. Okay, there's much here. I'm not going to... it's pretty much talking about war and stuff. You can go and follow... so I'll keep this short, brothers and sisters. You can go and read the rest of it. And maybe you can put it together yourself, those you've been studying the angel. I just want you to get an idea. See, I mean, this is pretty good. It pretty much sums up what Habakkuk is talking about. So I want to go at some point in time, I'll probably go into much more detail. I just want to give a short presentation because time is getting short. There's a lot of things to cover, right? But just to show you how they have no idea what to talk about. They keep talking, Habakkuk and that Satan is, and it's war between two gods. They have no idea what they're talking about. I think if those of you who have been studying, you understand that's not that at all. It's talking about Suleiman and Master Prophet Muhammad. See? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, we're going to close out right there. If you have any questions, please contact us. Brothers and sisters, wake up. There's light switches everywhere. Light switches everywhere. God has put light switches everywhere. You don't have to walk in the darkness. But they don't want you to touch those light switches. So here's one right here. There's someone high, is hard to reach. Someone right there, waist level. Some right there, neck level, right? Like Exodus. It's right there at eye level. All you got to do is read Exodus, and that will that blow away the darkness. Just read Exodus. Just read it. Just follow it through. The basic Exodus. Just follow through. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, don't turn that light switch on. Oh, well, Moses good and God's good, but Aaron, that's corrupted. Don't buy it, brothers and sisters. The book is not corrupted. They're bad translation, but the book is not corrupted. It's not corrupted because it's corrupted parts they don't like. Just follow Exodus. That's an easy light switch. It's right at eye level. Right. Chapter 20, the angel, Revelations. Right. Look at that. That goes back to the history of the Dark Ages, the rise of the Islamic Empire. Right. And then God can make God coming out, American Britain, and cover the whole earth, and being destroyed at the end when they surround the holy city. In other words, they're going to be destroyed in the Middle East. But before that, they can have fire coming out of heaven, these drones coming out of heaven on these people. It's right there, brothers and sisters. Light switches everywhere. See? You got to turn them on. So if you walk around darkness because you just want to walk around darkness, because light switches everywhere. Their job, the demon's job, is to keep you from turning those light switches on. Okay, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.